Okay, so next, tapos na tayo dun sa formation ng helical shape ng DNA. Next, yung base pairing. Yung mga base ah na nagpe-pair doon sa loob. Okay, so the size of the interior of the DNA, double helix, limits the base pairs that can hydrogen bond to one another. So yung space daw doon sa loob ng double helix is limitado lang. So dapat swak na swak yung pairing ng dalawang base sa loob. Okay? So ano yung kailangan? One small base. So one small base, isang pyrimidine. Pyrimidine are small bases. And one large base, a purine. Okay, so ito lang yung isang malaki at isang maliit. Sila lang yung perfect fit doon sa loob ng double helix. Okay. So there is not enough room for two large purine bases to fit opposite each other. So hindi pwede ang dalawang malaki. Hindi ang dalawang purine na pair doon sa loob. Okay? Hindi rin pwede ang dalawang small pyrimidine because they are too far apart to hydrogen bond to one another effectively. Okay, so, hindi daw magko-connect yung dalawang maliit doon sa loob. So, there is no hydrogen bond na mangyayari. Okay, only one small and one large base. Okay? Yun yung perfect fit. Hindi pwede yung dalawang malaki, hindi pwede yung dalawang maliit. And of the four possible purine pyrimidine combinations, okay, so there are four possible purine pyrimidine combinations na pwedeng mangyari. This between A and T, A and C, G and T, and G and C. Okay, so among these four, hydrogen bonding possibilities are most favorable for the A and T and G and C pairings. Okay, and these two combinations are the only two that normally occur in DNA. Okay, so take note, yung pairing ng A and T at yung pairing ng G and C are two combinations that are normally occur in DNA. So yung pairing ni adenine and thymine and guanine and cytosine. Okay, so huwag pagbabalik-balik na rin, okay? It's AT and GC. So, as a clue daw, ano bang clue natin dito para madali yung maintindihan? So, yung AT, at, is a word. And then G and C, parang magkamukha. Okay, G and C. At GC. Okay? Para madali nyo maintindihan. So, pag nag-meet na sina A and T and GC, that is your complementary bases. They complement each other. They are pairs of bases in a nucleic acid structure that hydrogen bond to each other. Okay, so yung mga um, pairs lang na swap and fit na nag-hydrogen bond to each other, they are your complementary bases. Thus, your A and T and G and C are complementary pairs, complementary bases. So complementary DNA strand, they are strands of DNA in a double helix with base pairing such that each base is located opposite its complementary base. So the two strands of DNA in a double helix are not identical. They are complementary. Okay, so hindi magkapareho yung strand. So since sabi natin kanina, yung isang strand runs from 5 to 3, yung isa naman is from 3 to 5. So hindi talaga sila identical. Okay? Kasi hindi mag-prepare yung dalawang adenine, hindi mag-prepare si dalawang thymine. Okay? So dapat complementary with each other. Okay, so sabi natin yan kanina, the base of a single strand of DNA is always written in a direction from 5 end to the 3 end of the segment. So paano naman daw if the designation for a base sequence are not specified? Paano pag walang 5 and 3 or a sequence of bases? So it is assumed that the sequence starts with 5 and base. Okay, so um so for example, itong base sequence A, C, G, T, T, C, it is assumed that A is the 5 and base. Kung hindi nasabi kung nasaan yung 5 and nasaan yung 3. Okay, so yung start ng sequence, let us assume na yun yung kung nasaan si 5. Okay? So ito yung mga rules kung paano natin tatandaan. Okay, so what if daw um, yung sequence ay walang mga dash, dash, dash. So same pa rin. So yung may mga, okay, so sa sequence na may mga dash is same doon sa sequence na walang dash. The bond line between nucleotides do not have to be shown. And usually they are not shown for longer polynucleotides. Okay? So identical yung meaning, basta magkakasunod yung mga letters, yung mga single letter abbreviation ng mga bases, magkakapareho sila. Kahit walang mga dash or walang mga bond lines. Okay, so we're done with nucleotides. We're done with DNA double helix structure and the primary nucleic acid structure. Now we go to the replication of DNA molecules. Replication, nagre-replicate. Okay, kung paano nagpo-produce ng same or mirror image ng DNA. Okay, so DNA replication is the biochemical process by which DNA molecules produce exact duplicates of themselves. Okay, so DNA molecules are the carriers of genetic information within a cell. Okay, see, and because of that, they are molecules of heredity. Each time the cell divides, an exact copy of the DNA of the parent cell is needed for the new daughter cell. Okay, so each time daw na nagde-divide during cell division, an exact copy of the DNA ng parent cell, okay, ay ma-replicate para magkaroon din ng exact same copy yung mga new daughter cell. Okay, that is your DNA replication. So here's the overview of the DNA replication process. The two strands of the DNA double helix are regarded as a pair of templates or patterns. So during replication, the strands or your templates separate. Each can then act as a template for the synthesis of a new complementary strand. The result is a two daughter DNA molecules with base sequences identical to those of the parent double helix. Under the influence of the enzyme DNA helicase, the DNA double helix unwinds and the hydrogen bonds between complementary bases are broken. The point at which the DNA double helix is unwinding, which is constantly changing, is called your replication fork. Okay, so meron tayong DNA double helix. By the action of the DNA helicase, okay, so sinisira niya yung mga hydrogen bonds na nagdudugtong sa mga bases doon sa loob. So pag nasira yung pag na-lose yung hydrogen bonds, syempre, maghihiwalay ngayon yung mga bases. Okay, so maghihiwalay yung mga bases. Okay, so, ah, yung paghihiwalay nila nagkakaroon ng parang dalawang parts. Okay, that is called your replication fork. Okay, so, yung old strand na from dating, ah, so yung isang strand from the old DNA, siya yung magiging template. Okay, para sa new strand. Same as yung isang strand from the old DNA double helix, siya yung magiging template para sa new strand. Okay, naintindihan? So parang sa double helix, paghihiwalayan mo lang yung dalawang nucleotide present doon. Okay? Yung isa is magiging template. Since alam na natin kung, for example, yung magkakasunod yung mga bases doon sa loob. Okay? So magkahanap siya ngayon ng kanyang complementary pair. Okay? So yung complementary pair na yon, siya yun yung new strand. Okay, so the bases of the separated strands are no longer connected by hydrogen bonds. They can pair with free individual nucleotides present in the cell's nucleus. The pairing process occurs one nucleotide at a time. Okay, so yung double helix pinaghiwalay mo. So ang mangyayari, meron ka ng isang free, okay, na strand at isang free na strand. Itong dalawang free na strand na ito, pwede na silang maghanap ngayon ng dalawang free din na strand. Okay? So after a free nucleotide has formed hydrogen bonds with the base of the old strand or the template, the enzyme DNA polymerase verifies that the base pairing is correct and then catalyzes the formation of a new phosphodiester linkage between the nucleotide and the growing strand. The DNA polymerase then slides down strand to the next unpaired base of the template, and the same process is repeated. The net result of the DNA replication is the production of two daughter DNA molecules from yung isang parent na double helix structure. Okay, so from isang DNA double helix, makakabuo ka ng dalawang daughter DNA molecules, both of which are identical to the one parent DNA molecule from which they are formed. Okay, so wag na tayo masyado dyan, masyadong technical. Ang tandaan lang natin, okay, so sa isang DNA double helix, mag-unwind siya, maghahanap siya ng, this is DNA replication. Okay, mag-unwind, yung isang free na strand niya, that is your template, maghahanap siya ng kanyang kamatch. Yung kamatch niya dapat complementary sa kanya. Dapat swak na swak sa kanya. Okay? Yung partner niya dati, okay, maghahanap din ng kapartner niya naman na iba. So from a uh, Isang DNA double helix magpuproduce ng dalawang daughter DNA double helix. So yun lang yan. So what are chromosomes naman? So once the DNA within a cell has been replicated, it interacts with specific proteins in the cell called histones to form structural unit that provide the most stable arrangement for the long DNA molecules. So yung DNA, pag nag-interact siya or dumikit siya sa protein called histones, that is your chromosome. Chromosome is an individual DNA molecule bound to a group of proteins. Yon. That is your histone. Bound to a group of protein called your histone. So ito yung mga general characteristics ng chromosome. About 15% by mass DNA and 85% by mass protein ang chromosome. 15% is DNA and 85% is your protein. Chromosomes are nucleoproteins, meaning they are the combination of nucleic acid and proteins. Kaya siya nucleoproteins. And humans has 46 chromosomes per cell. Take note, for a normal human, meron tayong 46 chromosomes per cell. So ano ulit yung protein kung saan naka-attach or naka-bind si DNA? Histones. And normal human has 46 chromosomes per cell. Okay, and chromosomes occur in matched pairs. They must be homologous with each other, yung mga pairs. Okay? So the 46 chromosomes of the human cell constitute 23 homologous pairs. Okay, so sa isang pair, may dalawa. Okay? Kaya meron tayong 46 chromosomes. So dalawa. 23 pairs na homologous with each other. Kaya meron tayong 46 na chromosomes. One member of each homologous pair is paired from a chromosome inherited from the father, and the other copy of one of the chromosomes inherited from the mother. So we're talking about the offspring. So 23 pairs. Yung isang pair, merong dalawa na chromosome. Okay, so one is inherited from the father and one is inherited from the mother. Okay. Homologous chromosomes have similar but not identical DNA-based sequences. Okay, and both code for the same traits but for different forms of the trait. Kaya minsan may mga namamana tayo sa ating father, meron din tayong namamana sa ating mother. Okay? They both code for the same traits but for different forms of the trait. Okay? And also offsprings are like their parents, but they are different as well. So part of their DNA came from one parent and part from the other parent. So may mga traits si mother na pwede nating mamana. Traits or physical feature. Meron tayong traits ni father or physical feature na pwede nating mamana. Okay? Pero not exact na kung ano yung itsura ni father, ganun din sa kanyang offspring. They are like their parents, but they are different as well. Okay, so occasionally, identical twins are born. So paano naman sa mga kambal daw? Such twins have received identical DNA from their parents. So, next, punta tayo sa ribonucleic acids. There are four differences between RNA molecules and DNA molecules. Number one, yung sugar present sa kanila. Si RNA, ang sugar present sa kanya is ribose, DNA deoxyribose. Okay, sabi natin yan kanina. Sa mga bases naman, si thymine is found in DNA. While sa RNA, it is, yung counterpart niya doon is si uracil. Next, RNA is a single-strand molecule, while si DNA is double-stranded molecule. Double helix yung shape ng DNA. Next, RNA molecules are much smaller than DNA molecules, okay, ranging from 75 nucleotides to a few thousand nucleotides. So always remember, smaller C, RNA, larger C, DNA. So take note, itong apat na major differences ng DNA from RNA molecules. Number one, doon sa sugar unit present sa kanila. Number two, yung base thymine, tatagpuan lang siya kay DNA. And sa RNA naman is si uracil. Okay? Sa shape, si RNA is a single-stranded molecule and DNA is double-stranded, double helix yung kanyang form. And sa size naman, RNA is smaller than DNA molecules. Okay, there are 5 types of your RNA molecules. We have first, heterogeneous nuclear RNA or your hnRNA. Ano sila? RNA formed directly by DNA transcription. So malalaman natin mamaya kung ano tong transcription na ito. So post-transcription processing converts the heterogeneous nuclear RNA to messenger RNA. So from hnRNA, magpo-convert siya sa to mRNA or your messenger RNA. Si messenger RNA naman or your mRNA is RNA that carries instructions for protein synthesis to the sites for protein synthesis. Okay. So messenger carries instructions. Next, small nuclear RNA or snRNA. RNA that facilitates the conversion of heterogeneous nuclear RNA to messenger RNA. Please take note of the functions ng mga RNA molecules. Okay, so si small nuclear RNA daw, siya yung nag-facilitate ng conversion ng hnRNA to mRNA. We also have ribosomal RNA or your RNA. It is an RNA that combines with specific proteins to form ribosomes, the physical site for protein synthesis. Yes, it is the ribosome na part ng cell. The rRNA present in ribosomes has no informational functions. So parang structural lang siya. Okay? They combined with proteins to form ribosomes. Ribosomes are the site for protein synthesis. rRNA has no informational function. And last, we have transfer RNA or your tRNA. Okay. It is an RNA that delivers amino acids to the sites for protein synthesis. tRNA are the smallest of the RNAs, possessing only 79 to 90 nucleotide units. And so, take note yung mga functions ng iba't ibang RNA molecules from hnRNA, messenger RNA, snRNA, rRNA, and tRNA. And please take note also that the process of DNA transcription occurs in the nucleus. Also with the processing of hnRNA to mRNA. The mRNA formed in the nucleus travels to the cytoplasm where translation or the protein synthesis occurs. Okay, so DNA transcription and the conversion of hnRNA to mRNA happens in the nucleus. Transcription, nucleus. Okay, translation naman happens in the cytoplasm. Si mRNA na nabuo dun sa nucleus, okay, magta-travel papuntang cytoplasm for protein synthesis or translation occurs. So ito na yung transcription na sinasabi natin. Transcription is the process by which DNA directs the synthesis of hnRNA, mRNA molecules that carry the coded information needed for protein synthesis. So during transcription, a DNA molecule unwinds at the particular location where the base sequence is found for the hnRNA or mRNA of concern, and the exposed base sequence is transcribed. A short segment of the DNA strand so transcribed, which contains instructions for the informations of a particular hnRNA or mRNA is called your gene. So gene is a segment of the DNA strand that contains the base sequence for the production of the specific hnRNA and mRNA molecules. In humans, most genes are composed of 1,000 to 3,500 nucleotide units. So take note, gene is a DNA strand that contains base sequence for the production of hnRNA and mRNA molecules. Okay, si genome naman, genome is all of the genetic materials or the total DNA contained in the chromosomes of an organism. Si genome, the sum of all the genetic material or the total DNA contained in the chromosomes of an organism. So here are the steps in the transcription process. Okay, so first step, a portion of the DNA double helix unwinds. So yung double helix, malulus yung hydrogen bonds. Okay? So malulus siya, yung isang strand or both of the strands magka-unwind yan, exposing the sequence of bases or your gene. Okay? The unwinding process is governed by the enzyme RNA polymerase rather than the DNA helicase. DNA helicase is the replication enzyme. The unwinding process is facilitated by the enzyme RNA polymerase. Okay, so meron na tayong exposed bases. Number 2, free ribonucleotides, one nucleotide at a time, align along one of the exposed strands of DNA bases, the template strand, forming new base pairs. In this process, U rather than T aligns with A in the base pairing process. Step 3, RNA polymerase is involved in the linkage of ribonucleotides, one by one to the growing hnRNA molecule. Okay, so step 4, transcription ends when the RNA polymerase enzyme encounters a sequence of bases that is read as a stop signal. Okay. The newly formed hnRNA molecules and the RNA polymerase enzyme are released. Okay, next, the formation of mRNA or your post-transcription processing. So pagkatapos ng transcription, merong formation of mRNA from hnRNA. Okay, the conversion of hnRNA to mRNA involves post-transcription processing of the hnRNA. In this processing, this post-transcription processing, certain portions of the hnRNA are deleted and the retained parts are then spliced together. Okay, not all bases in a gene convey genetic information, kaya siya tinatanggal. Instead, a gene is segmented. It has portions called exons that convey or that contain genetic information and portions called introns that do not contain genetic information. So, ang nire-retain lang dito is your exon. Yung iba, yung intron, okay, is tinatanggal. Okay? So, exon is a gene segment that codes for genetic information. They are DNA segments that help express a genetic information. While intron is a gene segment that does not code for genetic information. Introns are segments that interrupt a genetic message. Okay, so for this naman, sa post-transcription processing, please take note kung yung difference ng exon and intron. Exon is the segment that codes for genetic information. Intron does not code for genetic information. So mayroon tayong tinatawag na splicing. Ano naman tong splicing? The process of removing introns from an hnRNA. So since hindi wala namang information na kinocontain si intron, tinatanggal siya, okay, from hnRNA molecule. That is splicing. So pag meron kang segment na merong intron and exon, okay, tinatanggal yung intron na part doon sa segment. Okay, sa other segments na meron ding intron and exon, tinatanggal yung introns na part ng segment. So yung mga exons na natira, pinagdudugtong yung mga yan. Pinagdudugtong sila. That is splicing. Okay, yung pagdudugtong ng mga exons together to form an mRNA molecule. So splicing, pagtanggal sa intron at pagdikit sa mga exons. Exons containing the genetic informations. Okay? To form an mRNA molecule. The splicing process involves snRNA molecule. Okay, these are molecules found complexed with proteins in particles called your small nuclear ribonucleoprotein particles, which are usually called your SNRPs. Yung pronunciation nito is NERVs. Spliceosome is a large assembly of snRNA molecules and proteins involved in the conversion of hnRNA to mRNA molecules. So, importante lang dito, please take note yung splicing process. The removing of the introns, kasi wala naman siyang genetic information, and yung pag-join together ng mga exons form your mRNA molecule. That's splicing. Okay, so that's your transcription. Next is translation. Transcription happens in the nucleus. Okay? Pag nagawa na si mRNA, okay, via yung splicing, magta-travel siya sa cytoplasm. And then, translation happens. Translation is protein synthesis. It is the process by which mRNA codons are deciphered and a particular protein molecule is synthesized. Okay, so translation is protein synthesis. So sabi dito, the substances needed for translation phase of protein synthesis are number one, mRNA molecules. We also have tRNA molecules, amino acids, ribosomes, and a number of different enzymes. Okay, so para mabuo ang isang protein, we have mRNA, kung saan nagkikerry yung genetic information to code for the production of that specific na protein. Okay, we also have amino acids, your building blocks of proteins. Siyempre, wala namang magagawa na protein kung walang building blocks, which is your amino acid. We also have your ribosomes, that is the place of the protein synthesis or the site for protein synthesis. And of course, the number of the different enzymes na needed for protein synthesis. So there are 5 general steps to the translation process. Take note yung 5 steps to the translation process. First, activation of the tRNA. Next, initiation. Next, elongation. Next, termination. And then last, your post-translation processing. Okay, first step, the activation of tRNA. Sa activation ng tRNA, there are 2 steps involved. Number 1, an amino acid interacts with an activator molecule or your adenosine triphosphate to form a high energetic complex. This complex, step 2, reacts with appropriate tRNA molecule to produce an activated tRNA molecule. A tRNA molecule that has an amino acid covalently bonded to it at position 3 and through an ester linkage. So ano yung kailangan para ma-activate ang tRNA? The activator molecule, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. High energy source ito, ATP, our energy source for the activation of your tRNA. Next, initiation. The initiation begins when mRNA attaches itself to the surface of the small ribosomal subunit such that its first codon, which is always the initiating codon AUG, occupies a site called the P site or your peptidyl site. Okay. Next, the activated tRNA molecule with an anticodon complementary to the codon AUG attaches itself to the AUG codon. The resulting complex interacts with large ribosomal subunit to complete the formation of an initiation complex. Okay, so not much with the details. Ang importante lang alam natin yung magkakasunod na yung sequence ng translation process. Okay? So third, elongation. Next to the P site or your peptidyl site in an mRNA ribosome complex is the second binding site called your A site or your amino acid site. At this second site, the next mRNA codon is exposed, and the tRNA with the appropriate anticodon binds to it. Okay, so yung first na site kanina, your P site or your peptidyl site, yun yung AUG codon. Okay, doon sa um, initiation. Sa elongation, ang second binding site is your A site or your amino acid site. Okay, next. So, meron ding dapat na signal para mag-stop yung translation process. That is your fourth step, the termination. So, the polypeptide will continue to grow by way of translocation until all necessary amino acids are in place and bonded to each other. Okay, the appearance in the mRNA codon sequence of one of the stop codons. So for termination, take note of the stop codons UAA, UAG, or UGA. Terminates the process. Ito yung mga stop codons. Pag nag-appear na ito, itong mga codons na ito, itong mga pairings na ito, yung U, AA, UAG, and UGA, mateterminate na yung process ng translation. Okay, so take note of the stop codons. No tRNA has an anticodon that can base pair with these stop codons. The polypeptide is then cleaved from the tRNA through hydrolysis. Okay, so wala na daw base pair na pwedeng mag-pair sa mga stop codons. So pag nag-appear na itong mga stop codons, stop na yung process. Okay, for the last step, post-translation processing. Some modifications of proteins usually occurs after translation. This post-translation processing gives the protein the final form it needs to be fully functional. Okay, so there are 5 steps to translation for your protein synthesis. Okay. The next subtopic, we have mutation. So, ano yung mutation and kailan ito nangyayari? A mutation is an error in base sequence in a gene that is reproduced during DNA replication. So, merong error doon sa sequence ng genes, okay, during DNA replication. Such error alter the genetic information that is passed during transcription. The altered information can cause changes in amino acid sequence during protein synthesis. Okay, so there are 2 types of mutations. Number 1 is point mutation. A point mutation in which one base in a DNA base sequence is replaced with another base. Okay, such mutations is often called a substitution mutation. So point mutation, there is replacement or substitution of the base sequence. The effect of point mutation can vary from no effect to a change in primary protein structure to termination of protein synthesis. Okay, so depende kung ano yung base sequence na replace. Pwedeng walang effect, okay, yung mutation na yon. Or pwede na ring ma-change ang primary protein structure. Or there is a termination of protein synthesis. Okay? So for example, dito sa um, image, the original sequence, okay, so merong thymine or T, sa point mutation, na-replace siya ni C. Okay, so um, the replacement or the substitution doon sa base sequence is your point mutation. Next is your frame shift mutation, a mutation that inserts or deletes a base in a DNA molecule base sequence. It affects the base triplet and all triplet that follow in the sequence. So sa point kanina, merong substitution. Sa frame shift mutation, okay, nag-i-insert or nagdi-delete ng um, base sa sequence. Okay? So by addition or insertion, magkakaroon na ngayon ng problema talaga. Error uh, doon sa sequence. Okay? Pag tinanggal mo yung isa or nag-add ka, masisira na yung information doon. Okay, mutagen. It is a substance or agent that causes a change in the structure of a gene. Okay, siya yung nagkukos ng mutation, the mutagen. So example niya, radiation and chemical agents. These are two important types of mutagens. Radiation in the form of ultraviolet light, X-rays, radioactivity, and cosmic rays has the potential to be mutagenic. Sa mga chemicals naman, nitrous acid is a mutagen that causes the amination of heterocyclic bases. It can convert cytosine to uracil, the nitrous acid. Okay, so take note. Take note yung dalawang types ng mutation, the point and frame shift. And ano yung mga nangyayari sa point. And ano yung mga nangyayari doon sa frame shift. And also the mutagen. Yung dalawang important types of mutagen, radiation, and chemical agents. Okay, so that ends our lecture for nucleic acids. Any question? Any clarification regarding the topic?